Hello, hello. Welcome back to the weekly Monday Motivation Podcast. No more excuses. And Happy New Year. Happy friggin' New Year. Welcome 2021. And there's really going to be no more excuses this year, is there? Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening and connecting with me on social media. I am your host, Sandi Ballard, the Badass Business Coach. So if you are new here, check out my website, badassbusiness.coach. Pretty simple. Thank you, especially to those of you who are sharing my podcast on your social media or however you're doing it. I really appreciate it because I have listeners all over the world, and I wouldn't probably have that without all of you helping out and sharing it. So again, really appreciate that. But I obviously really appreciate you just being here and listening and investing in you. And unfortunately, we did not wake up January 1st and the vid was gone. The pandemic is still around. So I guess we'll just have to carry on with a new year, with new goals, a new level of hope, faith, positivity, or whatever it is you have, right? And today actually starts my online course, Start the Year Strong. I had one that just finished. It's finished the year strong. Pretty simple name. And it was a pretty powerful, intense 31 days communication of some sort almost every day, or actually every day. To start the year strong, you can still get in on it. It's $20.21 for the year 2021, right? It's 30 days, 31 days. And yeah, it'll help you create momentum. So do it now. Sign up. The link is on my Instagram account profile, or message me. You'll get your worksheets assigned to you as soon as you sign up and do that. So let's do this because we need to start the year strong. We have no more excuses, right? Even though the vid's still around, no more excuses. We're not letting shit go sideways. All right. And hopefully you already have your 2021 goals set, right? I mean, many times I set mine earlier and I work with my clients to set them earlier in the fourth quarter. However, due to that name we shall never speak of again that I've said a couple times already, it was still in full force and uncertainty and all that. The roller coaster ride was still going. So we, delayed those till closer to the end of the year. So you should have them set, but if not, it's time to do that. And there are a lot of ways to kickstart the new year, including like you being here listening. So thank you for that. There's a lot of ways for you to start the new year and invest in you. And that includes setting goals, setting resolutions, and intentions. These things, these three things are so important to getting to that next level, but they're all very different and people get them confused a lot. So this week I'm going to share tips on ways to create them, set them, make lists of all of them, articles, tips and tricks, all that stuff. But for now, I want to read you the specific definitions from the internet, because if it's on the internet, it must be true, right? Okay, because I want to help you really kick off this year strong by understanding the difference. So goals, my most favorite thing in the world, they're a destination or a specific achievement. Pretty simple, right? They provide a direction to achieve a desired outcome and involve intention setting, planning, preparing, and taking realistic action. Got to have action. Intentions, they are lived by each day. They're independent of achieving the goal or destination. They're about your relationship with yourself and others. So that one's a little kind of, what? Okay, so I'll talk about that this week on my social media. So get ready for that. And a resolution. Right now, I don't know, millions of you probably set New Year's resolutions, and I talked about this in my podcast last week. But a resolution is a firm decision to do or not to do something. And the one thing people let go of first are the resolutions, right? They get them confused, I think, is why that happens. The big New Year's resolution, this is the year I'm going to get in shape and blah, 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 right? Well, it's an easy one. And in a sense, by giving up on whatever your New Year's resolution is, you're deciding to not make you a priority. That's not good. And in last week's podcast, I talked about New Year's resolutions, and I asked you to live by your word of the year. I asked you for the last week of 2020 to finish the year strong, to remember what your 2020 word was. And if you didn't have one, well, shame on you. We'll start that this year as well. But really wanted you to finish the year strong as possible by living by your word. And my word last year was elevate. So I thought, how can I help others elevate their life and so I really tried to connect with as many people as possible and help them elevate their mood, because I have some friends that are going through some not so good stuff right now. And then I suggested that you go to my website, badassbusiness.coach, and you still can. There's a pop-up and it'll say enter your email, and then it'll give you the link to download the worksheet, the Word of the Year worksheet. So you will set your 2021 Word of the Year. Have you done that yet? If not, get on it. And I'd love to hear what your word of the year is. So message me, comment here, or email me, Sandi at sandiballard.com. Eyes, Sandi with an I. And, again, the New Year's resolution. Making sure you understand it's a firm decision to do or not do something. And my suggestion, and it will continue to be my suggestion, is that you resolve to live by your word of the year. And why? Why create a word of the year? Well, if you're new here, or if you don't understand, it helps you stay on track, and it helps you get back on track if and when shit goes sideways. So let's all hold the positive space that shit will not go as sideways as it did last year. However, it's not if, it's when shit goes sideways, because it happens to all of us, right? Last year was the exception that it did happen to all of us. But it happened in a bigger way, right? And it wasn't just a little blip in the matrix. So my 2020 word was elevate, like I said. And this year, it's empower. 2019 was expand, so clearly I have a thing for E-words. But when I sat down to create my 2021 goals, I reviewed 2020's again. And as I've mentioned, some of my goals, some small, some really big, didn't even get touched for those reasons, those last year reasons. And some, like my rebrand, my new website, my new coaching platform, and getting my women's group, the Taboo Tribe women's tribe, that women's group, I got it global. It went global, and I created the structure for it to happen in every state and region and country. And if women, you're out there like, what is this Taboo Tribe? I don't understand what this is. It's a global community for badass women like you. So check it out, tabootribe.com. Anyway, and I actually got paid to speak again. It was super cool. Yes, it was virtual, unfortunately. But it had been a while because so many things have been getting canceled, right? So that was really cool. That was on my goal sheet. And the things I did not accomplish, really bummed me out. But here's what did not happen. So first off, I did not run another half marathon. Well, because I started out the year in January. Actually, yeah, it was right around now. I slipped and fell on our tile floor, and it's like real tile, like hard, big tile pieces, right? I was pulling a sweet dance move when the band ABBA came on. If you don't know ABBA, shame on you, listen to them now. So I'm no longer allowed to wear socks and dance to ABBA because I slipped, cracked my ribs. Got helped. That was about 4 to 6 weeks of not really able to run. So I got recovered, and then February 14th, we went on a really big hike, and an elevated hike. Nothing to do with my word of the year, but maybe it was. We did a hike, and I woke up and had the worst sciatica pain I've ever had in my life. Like, I could not walk. I was shaking. I was in so much pain. But because of the issue, the pandemic, it took almost 3 months to get that nonsense taken care of. So, now we're like in May, and I still haven't really been able to run. And now I can run again, but I'm way out of marathon shape. So I'm starting to get back into that. Then, while dealing with my sciatica, my knee went out, and I ended up having knee surgery July 31st. So unfortunately, they just cleaned it up. They couldn't fix it. So now I'm looking at a knee replacement. Yay. But that just, everything about that whole year. So now it's mid-August by the time my knee, I'm able to start running again. Of course, mindset, body, everything. There's no way in hell I'm running a half marathon at this point. I'm working on retraining my mind and body to do more than a run walk. Okay. So that running a half marathon did not happen for those said reasons. Another biggie, unfortunately, was recovering from our move from Indy to California. And that was a big financial, I guess, expense, obviously. And because we moved so fast that we weren't prepared for that. And we, of course, like a lot of people, wanted to pay off debt. Not sure I need to explain what happened and why we did not get to pay off debt because of everything that happened. And then my fourth book did not get published or finished even. I spent a lot of time researching the new platforms for my coaching system and the website, and to be able to create Taboo Tribe and take it global. I created online courses, I rebranded, I did all that stuff, and that took so much more time than I thought. And the few times I did have my notes out for my book, I wasn't feeling it. I reread them and I looked at them and I made some more notes. It just did not happen. Unless you've written anything, sometimes if it's just not coming to you, it's just not going to happen. And whether I did or didn't make enough quiet time, it just wasn't flowing. And the books have to flow. And honestly, all the books I've written, well, the past 3, the majority of the book was written on an airplane. So I wasn't really on an airplane until September of 2020. So there's that. So all of those things are back on the goal sheet. And, it was a very emotional year on many levels and a very successful one in spite of the pandemic, the vid. I'm not a fan of unachieved goals and carrying stuff over, but last year did a lot of damage to a lot of people's goals, while others just nailed them all. There's a difference between giving up and saying, well, there's always next year, versus doing the best you could. I didn't give up on my book. I didn't give up on the budget. I didn't give up on my running. I just had delays, and they're back on my to-do list, or on my goal list. So here's what happened, and I'm not giving up. Versus, screw it. There's always next year. So what about you? What did you accomplish, and what didn't you? What happened? Obvious reasons, but what happened about it? The COVID didn't cause me to slip and fall and hurt my ribs. The COVID didn't cause me to hike and then have sciatica flare up, and the COVID didn't cause my knee to blow out. It's been in the works. It just all seemed to happen in one freaking year. So, what happened, and really, what can you do about it? And again, back to the word of the year. The reason I love creating a word of the year, last year, again, mine being elevate, is because I elevated my brand in a big way. I elevated my coaching by taking a class during COVID, by pivoting, by setting up the courses. I'd already been doing Zoom, but obviously that went full on as clients were closed and helping them reopen. I had to elevate my mindset so I could be encouraged and to be encouraging. There's a lot that I did to elevate other people's moods and mindset. And that's how every time I was reviewing my goals throughout the year, my word of the year is on my goal sheet. And I reminded myself of that. Okay, how can I elevate my mood, my mindset, my business, and how can I do that for others as well? That's how you use your word of the year. That's how it helps. All right? It's a huge part of setting the goals and being intentional and not giving up on anything. Yes, because last year the pace changed for everyone. Like I was saying, some people's goals just might as well throw that sheet of paper away, and others nailed them. Industries and businesses, one was laying everyone off while the other one is thriving. It's a new year, and right now we're reviewing the year, setting new goals. So it's time to look ahead. And right now, for some people, it might be day by day or week by week, just to get things going and moving and to create the habits you need to generate progress. There's so many quotes about not living in the past. And in my second book, How Badly Do You Want It? Chapter 5, Dear Past, Thank You for the Lessons. I reread that while I was thinking about this podcast, because right now, I don't know many people that want to go back to 2020, but I know so many times I've heard over the course of 2020, I really want things back to the way they were, back to the year before. What? So I guess that'd be 2018, 2019 kind of thing. Well, that's not going to happen. And referring to your past and wishing for it are so different, and it's not good to want to go back there. You refer to it, you learn, and you grow. The pace changed for everyone, no matter good or bad. We need to settle in and start making shit happen again. We've all had enough time to cry, piss, and moan, whine and bitch, including me. And I don't want to live there any longer. I even have my new vision board in front of me because I had it set up, and it was hanging in the back bedroom. And I'm like, why is it back there? I don't see it. All right. So as you sit down, if you haven't already, as you're sitting down, setting your 2021 goals, looking at them, doing your word of the year, setting your intentions and your resolutions, I really want you to do more than just write them down or type them into the worksheet. I want you to feel it. I want you to feel what that means. I want you to resolve to live by your word of the year. And I want you to check on your goals and how your word of the year is aligning with everything throughout the whole year. All right. So this week, I want to know. Email me, Sandi@sandiballard.com. Post here. Message me. However, what's your big goal for the year? What's your goal for January? Yes, your word of the year, because you're going to resolve to live by that. And intentions. How do what do you intend to do and be? All right. It's a lot. Yes, I'm getting a lot deeper on you. I'm throwing it all out there on this first week of January in 2021. All right. New year, new goals, new resolutions, new intentions. And let's get started now to kickstart your year, get on the right path, and get ready to invest in you. All right. Have a great week, and I look forward to hearing from you. Cheers.